the Quranic guidance to raising righteous kids in the society. Assalamu alaikum. This is Imam Muhammad Amin from Mahir Academy. Today, inshallah, I want to share with you a few tips from the Quran and the Sunnah of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam on how to raise righteous kids. So we'll define who are righteous kids and who are those to train righteous kids and how do you actually train righteous kids, inshallah, in our hands and given to us as parents and as a responsibility is raising our kids. Everyone might think, raising a child is something we all do naturally, or there are specific requirements Allah wants us to instill in them. You might think, I don't have the chance to actually have to get trained this way when I was growing up, but you feel the need to train your child in a certain way, and of course, making them righteous kids. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, Surah Al-Luqman, when he was talking about the story of Prophet Luqman alayhi salatu salam. So we'll go through this story today and actually bring 3 to 4 points on how we can actually make this work for our child and help them to be righteous in their life and also instill righteousness in the life of others. So a righteous kid is a child, of course, that's able to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfill Allah's rights, and also fulfill the right of these our parents, and also fulfill the right of him ourselves as well. So 3 things. So they're able to fulfill the right of Allah on them, they're able to fulfill the right of their parents on them, and also able to fulfill the rights of themselves on their own body. So when a child is able to fulfill this, and of course, it entails in that a child is able to fulfill the right of Allah, fulfill the right of the parent, fulfill the right on their own part as well. They will be able to fulfill the right of others outside as well. So how do you want to build this kind of kids? How do you want to train them? How do you want to have this kind of kids grow up and connected as well to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course, all the teachings that will help them connect and fulfill the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fulfill the right of the parent and themselves will come from the Quran. And so we'll start by going into the Quran, and the first thing that you need to do as a parent is you need to instill Tawheed in the heart of your child. So what is Tawheed? Tawheed is the knowledge of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You've got to do this early in life. Otherwise, a child will grow up not having a solid foundation of Iman and how they should relate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah told us in the Quran in Surah Al-Luqman, when Prophet Luqman was talking to his child, he said, Ya bunayya la tushrik billah, inna shirka la zulmun azim. So he sat down his son and taught him Tawheed. So we need to find time to teach our child. This is the first thing and foremost thing that we need to do to get our kid to be righteous in the future. Another thing that we can do as parents is we need to worship and let our kids see the example from us. I have some parents who want their kids to learn to recite the Quran, but they themselves cannot recite the Quran. And even when the kids is learning the Quran in the Quran classes with us, they actually take the kids out for vacation, of course, normal. But when they have something little to do at home, they prefer to let go the Quran class and actually do what they want to do. And this becoming very often, right? So those kind of kids are not actually teaching their kids by their action to learn to recite the Quran. They're telling the kid that, hey, Quran is not as important as anything else in the household. You need to lead by example as parents. So that's the second thing. We need to lead by example. So you want your child to pray salat, righteous. You have to kind of demonstrate that at home as well first before your child can come after you. All right? And Allah told him in Surah Al-Taha, وَاسْتَبِرَ عَلَيْهَا. Oh Muhammad, command your family to pray salah and be patient, patient with them and be steadfast on that with them. So when you have your child that's not praying salah, check yourself. Are you also observing your salah? Do you take your child to go pray salah? And this is something that needs to actually come from you. So your child cannot just be what you want them to be. You need to lead by example. The third thing that you need to do to help your child be righteous in the future is make dua. Make dua for them. You all make dua and wish your child become a doctor, become an engineer, become whatever you feel this dunya is all about. That's about this dunya. But what about the akhirah? Do not let us be among those who are neglectful, the neglectful ones who actually thought about this dunya and anything about the akhirah, they felt it's not needed. And even have some parents will say, what do you want my child to do with the Quran learning? Would they be able to become an engineer? Would they be able to become a doctor? Becoming a doctor engineer is what they need to do to feed themselves. But living a life is beyond being a doctor, being an engineer. How do you want to control your emotions? How do you want to control your desires? Sometimes your desires or emotions can actually destroy 20 years of work or even 30 years of work of becoming a doctor because you're not righteous. You're not able to, to determine the right from the wrong because your child is lacking those foundations. So you need to pray for your child. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them righteous. So praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is part of it. But at the same time, when you make dua, you have to work towards what will make it work. So the last part of what I want to share with you as a tip today on how to make your child righteous is discipline with love and wisdom. So when you actually have your kids, it's not everything that they want that you give them, or it's not everything that you want that you actually impose on them. You need to actually relate with them with love and discipline and wisdom. When Luqman was talking to his child and talking about how to observe salah and how to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, يا بني أقم الصلاة وأمر بالمعروف وانهى عن المنكر واصبر على ما أصابك إن ذلك من عزم الأمور. Was giving this instruction to his son. This ayah in Surah Quran 31, which is Surah Al-Quran. So if you check it from ayah 16 to the bottom, you see this. The Allah Ta'ala is talking about how you want to actually raise your child. This surah has a lot of wisdom in it. So I brought 4 wisdom out of this surah today on how to train our kids to become righteous. 1, we need to instill tawheed in them right from the onset. Let them know is Allah. Also, we need to actually lead by example. Whatever we want them to do, we need to start doing that first. Okay? And we need to make dua to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to actually make them righteous. And this is what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala told us in Surah Al-Furqan, Quran, Quran 25, which is Surah chapter 25, and ayah number 74. Allah is talking about what do we need to do? What do we need to do when we want righteous kids? So if you can watch my previous videos, I've talked about some amazing dua from the Quran that we can say. And this dua is amazing because you ask Allah for the goodness, not just about your child, even in your spouse as well. So the meaning of the dua is, oh Allah, oh my Lord, grant us from among our spouses and our offspring, meaning our children, comfort to our eyes. So kids that will be comforted to your eyes and they'll be obedient, right? And make us an example of the righteous. Make us an example for the righteous people. For those who want to be righteous, when people see you and your family, feel like this is what I want to be, and this is what I want my kids to be in the future. Also, instill the knowledge in your child, teach them as Allah Ta'ala, lead by example, make dua for them, and discipline them with wisdom and love. And inshallah, Allah will make them among the righteous, those who will obey and fulfill the right of Allah Ta'ala, fulfill the right of the parent, fulfill the rights of themselves. So if you having trouble or struggling to teach your child to learn to recite the Quran, it's really getting hard for you, or teaching your child all this concept, we have a program here that can help your child learn all this, and inshallah, mostly importantly, help them learn to recite the Quran and connect with the Quran, and inshallah, they can learn to read in the next 4 months and get that habit growing. And it doesn't have to be 4 months, but your child can learn to recite the Quran on time, inshallah. So if you're really interested in that aspect of learning for a child, and maybe you're so busy you don't have time to teach your child, or maybe your child has been learning for many years and they're still not getting to understand Islam, they're still not getting to understand the deen, and you want them to actually get closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, closer to the religion, click the link below this video to get started, to see how we can help your child achieve this goal, and inshallah making them among the righteous, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. I'll see you later.